You know what that means? I don't know what today's topic is, and neither do you, but we're going to find out when we flip through the book and find a page. All right, I am obviously not at home today. I'm in London. I'm at Innovation Work, so hello to all my friends who I've ever met here at this facility. But you know what? Always chasing the good internet. That's where I am, wherever it can be. Anyway, I hope you've had a great day. It's the Resilience Reset, which just basically means that, you know what, if you have had a great day, awesome. Let's take a little pause and, talk and say hello and hopefully expand your thinking a little. And if you haven't had a great day, now is your chance to turn that frown upside down. Do I dare say? Anyway, into the book, whatever the page is, as long as we haven't done it before, this is what we'll do. We've got Greg on the show. Awesome. Hello. Coming from LinkedIn, which is great. Okay, what does this say? Oh, I feel like we talk. Oh, interesting. Okay, we talk about this a lot. There are about why I don't think traditional to-do lists work and what to do instead. So I have given in the book 4 reasons why a traditional to-do list, or some of the things we do with our traditional to-do lists, don't work. And so we're going to go through these. Okay, so there are 4 reasons. I've already said that, but I just want to check. Okay, so if you are feeling overwhelmed by your never-ending to-do list, I'm going to encourage you to adopt my philosophy, which is different, which is use a task circle, and I'll explain what that means in a minute. Hey, Amanda's finally here. Yeah, she's like, I'm not on the live show because I'm often on calls. You know what? That's what happens when you've got a successful practice, right? So awesome to have you here. Good stuff. All right. So the to-do list, because here's at the end of the day, if we want to interrupt our pattern of feeling overwhelmed and stressed, right? The destructive stress, we have to figure out a better way to manage all of the stuff that needs to get done. And we need to accept the fact that the stuff is not going to stop needing to get done. And there's always going to be more and more and more and more stuff. So let's figure out a process to do that. And so most people end up writing it down. Now, I'm going to say most because I have worked with individuals who do not have even a traditional to-do list, meaning they keep it all up here. And they do that for a few reasons. Number one, maybe because they think they can actually remember everything that needs to get done, or they're too overwhelmed or afraid to actually get everything that needs to get done on paper, because then they have to actually look at it and go, I got to do all that. So that could be a reason that they resist. Or they just don't have the systems in place to do it. And some people have like multiple to-do lists, right? And then they're not tracking everything in the right spot. So, but then, people who do like start writing it down traditionally, like, hey, I'm going to do this. No. These are all the things that need to get done. Okay. So the first thing I've written down here is the traditional to-do list that includes a long list of tasks. And the reason why I've said that it doesn't work is because it's hard to tell based on timeline. So what are the fast tasks versus the more intense tasks? It also does not account for prioritization based on, it's just a long list. And so we look and we say, okay, which ones do I want to do first? And it actually just can seem so overwhelming because there's no structure to it. The other reason I think it's really hard is because it buckets everything together in one hat, in one area of responsibility. Whereas in my task circle, what I challenge people to do is to put the different tasks that they need to get done into different buckets that represent the areas of responsibility that you like, or like the hats that you need to wear. Because if you're a small business owner, or if you're someone who has the outputs plus the team plus the investors, like whatever, right? Like your many, many hats. If you're putting everything in the same to-do list, you're kind of switching. It's like a different type of multitasking, right? So instead, I want you to be like, okay, right now I'm in sales mode, which means I'm going to go to my sales bucket and I'm just going to focus on that. And right now I'm going to get into marketing mode. And so I'm going to focus on my marketing bucket and just wear that hat right now. And when it's a great big long to-do list, there's no structure or reasoning behind what's there. And it can be quite overwhelming. Okay, so that's it. Another little thing that many people do is they mix their tasks with their meeting notes. Now, hear me out on this one, because there are people who are watching, I guarantee you, who have many notebooks or one notebook, and they carry it around with pride and they're amazing at it. And you know what? They take all their notes for the meeting and then they put their tasks. These are the things I need to do. And so I'll meet with someone and I'll be like, okay, so what's on the plate that's causing you overwhelm? And they flip through like 10 pages to try to get to the actual tasks. And so if you're someone who loves to take notes in your meetings, then that's awesome. But we need to have a separate place to track the tasks that come out of the meetings. Okay, so it's a little bit different. So we take the meetings, the meeting notes, keep all those, right? And then maybe the task. But at the end of the meeting, you take a little star beside the task and you pull them out and transfer them over into your task circle. So what that will do is it will give you like, here are the things I need to do, and here's the supporting documentation if I need to get it done. But see, when you're in a moment where you're going to be like, okay, I've got a 45-minute work block right now. What am I going to work on? I want you to be able to look at one piece of paper or one, electronic database thingy that is going to show you right now, this is my priority. This is how much time I have. So therefore, these are the tasks I know I can get done in that amount of time. And if you combine all of your tasks within the meeting notes, what ends up happening is that you sit down for that 45-minute work block and you're like, okay, I got time to work. Go through page. Doesn't quite work. So that is the second reason the traditional to-do list, or a way that we approach our tasks, tracking, does not work. Now, here's the next one. Most systems, if you're using an electronic system, will batch by project status, meaning to do, doing, or done, right? Or a version of that. So, in the hopper, actively working on, parked, whatever. And the problem with this is that it's really just a fancier to-do list version. But again, there's no context for the tasks. You could be doing, 20 things. You could be have things that need to get done and have this long list, and again, no structure to it. And it just can be so overwhelming for people, right? So we need better ways to put them together. So I'm like, all right, instead of in progress, has to be done, complete whatever, your 3 things are, or 4 things, then I want you to be like, okay, these are all the things in this category. What's the next thing that needs to happen? And those are the tasks that are going down in that bucket. Makes it a lot easier. And then the fourth reason is it's batched by activity type. So this sometimes works, but sometimes doesn't. So let me, okay, so this is based on the philosophy of getting things done with David Allen. So he wants you to do all your phone calls together, your errands together, your, like you're out and about, that makes sense. But like, and I don't know if it's just his philosophy, but a lot of times it's like, okay, well, do all your emails in bulk, right? Make all your phone calls in bulk. But the problem is when you track like that, let's say you have to serve a client and that client needs a proposal, some trades done, a phone call, an email, and that's what it's going to take to serve that particular client. Well, if we task it out based by activity type, what ends up happening is we never actually follow the system because we know that when we get into this client, we just got to do all the different things, right? So whereas I would prefer to see it as doing your client service, right, would be one of your bucket. Like I have a bucket that says clients. And so when I'm in client mode, I do any type of task that's required for that client, right? So that was the section that we came up on. This is a very short book, you know. The thing is, though, is that if something is working for you, go for it. Like, use the thing that works for you. I find with most people, the system they're using is not working. And then what ends up happening is they keep trying different systems. And when we continually try different systems, then we kind of, like, it's just like we're searching for this other thing. I don't know if that makes sense, or if you see anything in your way of tracking your tasks and your to-do list that I've just said that is not effective, and you're like, oh yeah, that is why it's not effective. That's important to know, right? So I think that's it. But if any of those are happening for you and you're feeling stressed, like, this is the thing, like, the fundamental issue is that we always have stuff to do. And if that is causing you stress, then we have a problem, because you are never going to be free from stress. Like, and the thing, I was doing an interview yesterday with someone, and it was interesting. She said, well, what happens when you actually step out of the stress vortex? And I was like, oh my God, like, so much. And I think sometimes I assume that people know what the answer is, but it's like, you're more creative, you're more at peace, you can be more innovative, you can be better at solving problems, dealing with obstacles, you're going to have more bandwidth, you'd have a longer fuse, not be so, like, you know, on your toes all the time, less jittery, less buzzy, less go, a little more time to smell the roses. Like, there's so much that can happen when you step out of the destructive stress vortex. It's pretty awesome. You know? Anyway, these are my thoughts, my friends. I hope you have had a beautiful day. I hope you got a lot out of this. Thank you for being here. And dare I say, until next time, may you stress less, do more, and be happier. By the way, tomorrow, another surprise, got an interview that will be coming in for you. So tune in tomorrow, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of today. Thanks for being here. Bye.